So we are well underway this 2024, and we have some insanely awesome Game Pass games that I'm hyped for this February, and I think you will be too. I'm Sonny, your host here at Xbox Central, and we kick this off with a game that launched a few days ago in Persona 3 Reload. Now, I won't go deeply into this one, but it has received a ton of awesome positive reviews from both players and critics, and if you guys haven't hopped into a Persona game, this is a great first one to dive into. Now, our first game that we have available that's new today is the game Anuchard, and this is a top-down action-adventure game where you step into the shoes of a chosen hero on a mission to revive a once thriving town now shrouded in darkness. Anuchard's gameplay is a mix of combat, puzzles, and dungeon exploration where you constantly fight different enemies with your magical bell to rescue citizens. And speaking of citizens, the game also lets you recruit the ones that you revive to help you rebuild this fallen town. And it all just becomes so much better with the stunning pixel art visuals that really remind me of the good old classic RPGs. Anuchard is now available on cloud, console, and PC. Now, if you guys are enjoying this video, subscribe, as 91% of you have not hit that button, and subscribing really helps grow the channel, which actually helps me bring more content to you guys. Plus, hit that like button if you really like the video. Now, our next game is Train Sim World 4. This is a simulation game that allows players to experience the thrill of driving trains across a variety of routes and landscapes. From things like diesel to steam to electric locomotives, players will get the chance to operate trains from different eras. The game features two different modes: the training center, where you can master the basics of all the trains before venturing out into the real world, but the real fun really begins in the free roam mode that lets you choose any train you like and take it wherever your heart desires. If you want to cruise through the scenic landscapes or zip through some bustling cities, I mean, the choice is absolutely yours. And if you really love trains, the game's got this really cool photo mode that lets you pause the action and snap the perfect shot to show off your rail adventures to your friends. This one's landing on Game Pass on February 7th for cloud, console, and PC. So on the cusp of the Super Bowl, Madden 24 is seeing a Game Pass release this February, and me personally, I'm a huge football fan, but typically I wait until Game Pass releases Madden because you just really don't get a ton of improvements year to year, and honestly this year's no different. There is some small improvements to like skill-based passing, the receivers catching, and then there's this thing called Sapient technology that lets the movements of the players look and feel as real as possible. And as always with Madden, you get the full franchise mode. There's a superstar mode which is more like a career mode, and then of course there's online play fully. And on top of that full online gameplay, Madden 24 does have full cross-platform head-to-head. There's franchise and then Madden Ultimate Team. So if you're like me, you'll be diving into football this weekend going crazy while we watch the Super Bowl, and you'll be playing this as well. This is a great get for Game Pass and Xbox, and this does land on February 8th on console and PC. So Resident Evil 3 Remake, it's making its way to Game Pass, and if you're a Game Pass subscriber and a fan of the franchise, this edition is definitely something to cheer about. Now, I'm a big fan of the original game, but after diving into the remake and giving it a whirl, I've got to say it's pretty dang good. I mean, sure, the game's kind of short compared to the original, which makes sense since they removed some of the extra content and land to really clean things up, but they've added a lot of new stuff as well. The visuals are definitely much better, the controls are smoother, and the voice acting I feel is really on point. It really retains the classic gameplay of the original while adding more depth and excitement to the story. Long story short, Resident Evil 3 Remake for me gets a big thumbs up. It's coming out this February 13th on cloud, console, and PC. Now, if you're looking for something a little more relaxing, Game Pass has that game for you this February 14th, and that's the game A Little to the Left. This is a minimalist puzzle game that revolves around organizing household objects. Players are tasked with solving puzzles hidden within everyday items, such as arranging clock hands or organizing eggs. With over 100 of these unique puzzles and multiple solutions to each of them, the game will really keep you hooked for quite a while, especially if you do love puzzles. But the fun doesn't really stop just there. It also has this really handy daily tidy delivery mode where you'll receive a unique puzzle every day, keeping the challenges fresh and exciting. It's a super simple yet relaxing game with tons of quick to solve puzzles that are really excellent for people of all ages. This one's dropping on Game Pass on the 14th on cloud, console, and PC. Now, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night's a game that I'm super familiar with as I played it quite a few years ago, and it's an awesome side-scrolling RPG Metroidvania where you play as Miriam, an orphan cursed to where her body will turn into crystal, but to save herself she actually has to fight a ton of demons and its master while at the same time saving humanity. The game is fully voiced with these really awesome cutscenes. The story, I have to say, is pretty gripping and I really enjoyed it, and really the gameplay is the most fun. The boss fights are super epic, and truth be told, this is one of my top 10 Metroidvania games to have released in the past 5 years and one that I just really enjoyed. It's that good. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night launches on Game Pass on cloud, console, and PC on February 14th. So Plateup is a chaotic culinary adventure that's a no-brainer for fans of Overcooked, and I would know I'm one of the biggest Overcooked fans. This is coming out February 15th for Game Pass, and Plateup puts you in the shoes of a chef that's tasked to manage the craziest kitchen ever. Much like Overcooked, you've got really tons of orders coming at you, and a lot of random accidents happening all around while you are trying not to lose your sanity preparing dishes and managing the chaos. From sizzling soups to mouth-watering pizzas and sweet treats, you're gonna have a ton of delicious dishes to really whip up. Lucky you're not going to be alone in this as well, as Plateup has an awesome co-op mode that lets you team up with other friends to really manage this culinary chaos together. It's a great choice for those who really want to share a few genuine laughs with their friends, and of course, as I mentioned, this comes out February 15th on cloud, console, and PC. We have the game Return to Grace. This is a narrative-driven adventure game where players assume the role of a space archaeologist, Addie, who discovers the resting place of an ancient AI god who was once the caretaker of the solar system. Now, the game unfolds in a 60s-inspired sci-fi setting, as Addie navigates through the site encountering fractured versions of Grace's AI, each with their own personality and motives, and players must choose which personalities to build relationships with. The gameplay offers a variety of interactions, from thrilling balance beam crossings to hacking ancient computer systems and operating an unwieldy flamethrowing jetpack. These challenges really keep players engaged and add to the overall sense of adventure. Return to Grace is a short adventure game that can be completed in one sitting, but it's also got these awesome branching narratives that really encourage replayability for different experiences. This lands on February 20th on cloud, console, and PC. Alright guys, so we have MLB The Show 24 making a comeback, as last year we were graced with 23, and we are seeing the newest 24 land on Game Pass. And let me tell you guys, there probably won't be someone more hyped than me to see MLB The Show 24. I've become a massive fan to the point where this actually became my most played game on my Xbox Series X in 2023 with hundreds of hours, embarrassingly. And I just love playing Road to the Show, where you build your own player and you take them on an MLB career. Outside of that though, the game's gameplay for baseball fans is really just top notch, and it's as customizable in terms of difficulty as you want. You can hit home runs all day if you set the sliders nice and easy, but if you're like me and you're a little bit of a masochist and you like to suffer, you can struggle and have an almost realistic experience. This year though, there's a new storyline mode that transport you to baseball's past to relive some iconic moments of baseball's unknown heroes, and then there's all the familiar modes that are still available: Diamond Dynasty, multiplayer, and a lot more. Game Pass subscribers can also upgrade to the Digital Deluxe and get 4 days early, which I'm going to be doing shamelessly as this does land on March 19th. Since we are taking a quick peek at March games, we also have two awesome games coming this March in Open Roads. This is a gorgeous looking interactive game that has a daughter and mother looking into their family's past. This lands sometime in March. And then we have Lightyear Frontier. This is an open world farming game that combines exo farming and a vibrant retro futuristic setting. This looks really promising, and we'll talk about this more next video. And finally, we take a look at the games leaving Game Pass this February 15th. As always, you get a 20% discount. But guys, I have some unbelievable games that I think you guys need to know about. They're amazing to play on Game Pass, and you have to click that video on the screen to find out more.